The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV. Hot topics, food, fun, entertainment, and serious business. Live Las Vegas with Rikki Cheese.
Joined us for another edition of Live Las Vegas with Rikki Cheese. Okay, today is some serious stuff, things that you need to know to protect yourself, your family, and your business. The man here to bring you up to date and let you know all the dangers lurking out there and how you can take care of yourself is Mack Jackson Jr. He is the owner of MJ Computer Concepts. He's got a website. We're going to talk more about that. So all of the things that we're going to talk about today, you can go back online and find out about. And of course, you know, this show is always here at WWDB TV on our website that you can access anytime. We'll also have it on YouTube and Roku. So we're everywhere in your home. All right, Mack, let's talk about cybersecurity. Even when I use that term, it sounds so highfalutin and so fancy. How do you break it down so it matters to just average Joe, somebody like me who I'm not really involved in IT. It's not something protecting my home, protecting my family.
That's it. You said it right there, protecting your home, protecting your family. Think of cybersecurity as security around your home, right? You want to protect your assets, your property. And it's the same theme. It works the same way. We have locks in our windows or doors or garages to protect our assets. The same thing when it comes to electronics and data. We need to protect it, make sure that hackers can't acquire it.
Right. I was late for the computer age, and I was bringing him up to date. I was one of those people who was dragged kicking and screaming into the whole internet world and the whole world of social media. And in a way, I'm glad I did, because I got to see all the mistakes other people were making and tried not to make those same mistakes myself. But I find that every single day, there's really, you can try to protect yourself, but man, there are people out there who are looking for ways to get around it. Let's talk about something as simple as what I ran into when I went to Cox Cable recently. Okay. And an excellent salesperson. This woman was amazing. After I paid my bill and got up to date, she said, "How would you like to have a home security system?" Right? That's how it was billed to me. I thought, yes, a really good idea. All I really wanted was some cameras so I could watch my dogs when I wasn't home. But she talked about setting up this whole system so we'd have the cameras in my house. She almost had me. But I thought, no, let me think about this. What I also thought about once I got in the car was, I'll be watching my dogs, but who'll be watching me? Yes. And who'll be watching what's going on inside my house? I think these are the questions that a lot of times people don't ask themselves when they sign on for these either security cameras or these programs that are supposed to protect your computer or protect your information. Where do you start with them?
Well, all of that, as you mentioned, is in a category now we call IoT, the Internet of Things. Okay. And that means that you have your security system in your home and it talks to your entertainment system, that talks to your cell phone, it talks to the internet. All those systems around your house, they're all have access to the internet through your router. And yes, if they're not properly secured, hackers could compromise by going in through your router and have access to all these pieces of equipment. So yes, it's important to understand how all of these systems talk to each other. Right. And that's the problem. A lot of them do not. Okay. Third-party companies, like the company that controls your garage, is it the same system that can talk to your security system? Maybe they don't talk to each other. I
didn't think about that. I guess I just assumed, even when I was talking to the lady at Cox, that this was just one big system and one big provider. Right. It's not the case.
Right. It's not. It's one part. It's one part that could be hundreds. And you know that statistics show, I think it was a Pew Research report that showed that in the next 5 years, the average home will have about 50 to 100 different third-party IoT devices within their home. Everything from controlling their heart rate, their health, right, to monitoring their animals in their home, like you were mentioning, but even their coffee machines, their refrigerators, all of that is part of the IoT. That all of those devices connect to the internet through the router. Right. So those devices aren't talking to each other, or they don't know who's on first, who's on second, or the control. It could be vulnerability points where hackers can breach one device in your home and then have access to everything.
We have Beth Toy sitting in our studio right now. She's one of the co-owners of WWDB TV, and we were talking about this topic before the show. And she was saying, and she showed me her laptop, and she's got the tape on the webcam camera, and she says when she goes home, she unplugs Alexa, she does all of this stuff to make sure. But is that necessarily making you safer?
By unplugging it?
Yeah.
Unplugging it, yes, it could make you safe. As long as it doesn't have access to the internet, you're safe. But then you have a piece of equipment that you're no longer using. It's not effective in your household. But you mentioned Alexa. Oh, there's so many stories here. You mentioned
bring me some. Give me some. Okay, guys, I admit it. I am late. I'm late to the whole test. I just fell off the turnip truck. I didn't know anything. I just discovered Alexa at a friend's family gathering.
Right.
Love it. But
Yes.
then I kind of got creeped out because I thought, well, didn't we see this in Rage of the Machines, Arnold Schwarzenegger's last movie before it all fell apart? That the machines were just, maybe I don't want to have a conversation with this disembodied voice telling me, and you must go feed the cat right now. Who are you? Really? I mean, yes. Tell me some Alexia stories.
Well, you know, there was a story out a few months ago that the Attorney General in Arkansas created a subpoena for Amazon because of Alexa.
How so?
The rumor has it that Alexa was involved in a murder.
What?
Great headline, huh?
What? Yeah, right.
Yes. Well, supposedly that there was an Alexa device in a room and a murder happened. And the law enforcement wanted to find out if Alexa was able to record any of the information that could lead to investigation of this murder. So now Alexa has to come out, or Amazon has to come out and disclaim if the device listens or not. But if they state that it listens, it could help out in a murder. But look what that does to marketing. That means that it's telling us that the device does listen more than just the word Alexa.
But Alexa does listen because what I was watching, every time somebody walked up and they have a conversation with Alexa, so she's obviously primed to listen to whoever approaches her. Wouldn't it make sense that she's listening all the time? It's not just she's only responding when you call her name.
Right, she's only responding when you call the name. But what my community and the cybersecurity community is concerned with is it's not that Amazon's doing anything nefarious. It's that hackers may be in the middle between Alexa and Amazon and get the device to do other things to listen. What if a hacker can actually hack into an Alexa device and listen to conversations that may not should be heard, may not should be heard by people?
See, I love these conversations because then I feel vindicated in being such a such a techno prude. But I also recognize that this is where our society is right now. I mean, you cannot not be involved in the internet in some way, shape, or form. My day got started today in a wonderful, oh my gosh, great way. I was at my brother's house the other night and I plugged my phone in for it to charge. Left my phone. So got in the car this morning and there was a knock on my window. I'm like, oh, I'm getting robbed. And my brother was standing there with my phone going, like, oh, thank you, God. Because I would have left the house, driven across the valley, and then panicked because so much, here it is. Thank you, Eric. When you lose your phone, or you misplace your phone, or you forget your phone at a family member's house, that's when you know how much our lives are tied into. I don't know anybody's phone number by heart. I don't know where I'm supposed to be at any given time. My calendar is on my phone. My contacts are on my phone. My fun stuff is on my phone. My games, my Netflix, everything is on my phone.
That's right. Your phone is an informational bank.
Yes.
And the data that's on your phone is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So let me ask you this. Do you have antivirus software on your phone?
No. Now, when I was reading one of your articles, I thought that is something that's my next step. I don't.
Absolutely. And people do not have it on there. And their phone, hackers
I've got it on my computer at home.
Because that's what we're trained to do, right? Your computer, your home, your desktop, at work. Hackers are trained to now look for the most vulnerable points to get access to data. And that is through our cell phones. So they can hack into your cell phones and through your home, not necessarily at work. So now they can hack in from your home.
And you think about that, like we have Wi-Fi here at the studio and people in Starbucks, everybody's like, that's the big thing now. You know, companies are being competitive, and so free Wi-Fi is almost sort of like, if you don't have it, you're going to lose customers. They've got some free Wi-Fi, that's where they're going to go.
Absolutely.
But that's the trap of free Wi-Fi, is now you're sitting, and if you don't have antivirus software like I don't on my phone, you are now vulnerable to everybody, especially, I'm not calling out Starbucks, you guys have enough issues right now, but what do people do? That's why I watch people camp out all day. They've got their computer in front of them, and they've got their phone.
Starbucks office.
Sometimes two. Yeah, Starbucks office.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, antivirus software is only one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
What you need to have in a Wi-Fi situation, you need a piece of software that we call VPN.
Okay.
Stands for Virtual Private Network. And what this software does, it kind of cloaks your smart device and kind of hides it through the network system of the free Wi-Fi location, giving you extra layer of protection and mitigation from hackers that could see your device.
Right.
So I definitely recommend antivirus software for one device, and then have also VPN software. You can find there's lots of them on your iTunes store or your Android store.
Right.
Have those two pieces of devices on there, because there are a lot of fake Wi-Fi locations, especially here in Las Vegas. If you drive down the strip, hackers have set up fake hotel names. They'll have the real hotel name, and they'll say guest. Think, oh wow, I can log into this hotel's free Wi-Fi, and it turns out to be a hacker's net to trap tourists to log in, to have access to the internet, but at the same time they're reading everything on their phone. All information you set on your phone, like your names, your contacts, birthdays, all that information is what hackers want.
Stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more stuff to scare you into taking care of yourself with Mack Jackson Jr. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Crazy Terry here with your car care tip of the day. Today's tips on cooling systems. This vehicle's got about 182,000 miles on it, so if you're checking the coolant, check the hoses too. Just feel them and see if they're soft or any signs of fatigue for the mileage on it. They don't feel bad. They look like they're still the original hose, but you want to make sure you don't go too long with these hoses, because they will eventually deteriorate, cause a problem. In this case, this car's got a visible leak. The customer brought it to us. We'll pop the hood and check the cooling system. First, we just relieve any pressure that might be on the cap, remove the cap, take a look inside. We see it's kind of low. Now we'll start our inspection. What we found on this one is the top tank is leaking. It's got a crack in it. Pretty common for these plastic radiators to do that. I want to get to a shop right away, because severe engine damage can result from overheating condition like this. In this case, it was pretty easy to see the crack was right on the top tank, but a lot of times we'll have to pressurize the system to locate the exact leak. Could be a hose in the back, could be underneath. Some of these are hard to find, but in this case, a very common leak, the top tank. When we're testing a cooling system, it's okay to use just water, but you want to make sure when you're filling it up properly, it's a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water. It needs the water to make the chemical work, so don't just put straight antifreeze. 50-50 mix is the best way to go. Keep it clean, keep it rust-free. So as you can see, we got a pretty active leak. You got to get this fixed, or there's going to be some engine problems. If you're going to top off your own coolant, it's really not that hard. If you got a radiator cap, just make sure it's not hot. Take the cap off and take a look. In this case, we're pretty full here, but what we have is the overflow jugs empty. So we'll just add that. Once again, check your manufacturer's specs to make sure what type of coolant you have. In this case, we're using the good old green. There's gold, there's red, there's yellow, all types out there. Just want to make sure you're staying with your manufacturer recommended coolant. And that's really all there is to it. The cooling system is a major component. You'll want to service that regularly. If you have a problem, it could be too late and cost you thousands of dollars. If ever you have a problem, come into Sun Valley Automotive. It's no charge to look at your cooling system. This is Crazy Terry with your car care tip of the day.
Back here with Mack Jackson Jr. He is a cybersecurity expert. We're talking about all of the ways that you can protect yourself. We're going to talk about the dangers first, then we're going to talk more about the ways that you can actually take those steps to protect yourself. Many times people think that they are doing the safe thing. We talked before the break. One of our owners, Beth Toy, says she unplugs her devices. She's got tape over her webcam on her Apple computer. Is that enough in your home? If you've got other appliances, like you've got a smart TV that you're not going to put a sheet over it every time you use it, or if you've got other devices running, your kids have their games going in their rooms, are those still vulnerable points?
Absolutely. All those devices, as mentioned before, are part of the IoT world, Internet of Things, and all of them should be protected because the access point, again, is your router. The most important thing with all the equipment that you mentioned is the router and the password for that router. You should make sure that when you purchase a router, you have a dual band router.
What does that mean?
very good question. Dual band router has 2 access points to the internet. In other words, there's one you can give to your guests, friends that come over, and the other band of the router controls all the devices in your home. So imagine if you're a family and the kids have friends that come over and want to study, and they ask mom for access to the passwords to the internet.
Yes.
If this child comes in, the family doesn't know, they give them access to the internet. Now they have access to all their IoT devices, including security systems,
Wait a minute.
garages,
So,
and all of it.
so the kid next door
Yes.
comes over to play a video game,
Correct.
and they can walk out of your house with access to everything that you're running in your house?
Everything you're running in your house.
Wow.
Absolutely. And people
Wow.
don't know that. So they have to have 2 or even when the family's going on vacation.
Sure.
Now the kids can come back and stand in the front yard or on the sidewalk or in their car with their laptop now and have access to the internet from the house because they're right in the area access point to the internet. And it's happened a lot. I get these emails from customers telling me all the time about how to change their
So you're being
password.
really sweet, and you're saying, yes, you can go ahead and have access to my house.
Yes.
But you're basically having access, not to my computer, but now you have access to my home.
Right, have access
Right.
to the home. You have access to all the equipment there, all the access points.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, and you guys all know I've got 2 Akitas, my sexy beasts. They're huge. And I haven't been on vacation since I started getting Akitas, which has been some time where dogs aren't in the car. One of the reasons why was because I realized that I would have to allow a non-family member to sit at my house, and
Right.
then I would have to give them access to the systems in my home.
Mhm.
And I wasn't worried about the pet sitter per se. My big fear, and you guys, call me, email me if you think I'm being paranoid, is let's say my pet sitter is busy one day and she tells her son,
Yes.
run over and feed Ricky's dogs, and here is the password so you can have access. So now it's not just her,
Mhm.
but he now has it.
Right, because what if he can't do it? He tells somebody else to do it.
Right. And so now what I think is the safe situation, and I'm on vacation, so I don't even know that this is even happening.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Temporary passwords. There are security systems now that you can have a temporary password you can give to someone, and they have a certain amount of time, access to your home. Or there's certain security systems that will give you access to your cell phone. So if you're out of town on vacation, this person calls you or knocks on your door using a system called Ring, for example, rings your doorbell. You can see them on your phone and give them access that way. Click a button on your phone and they can have access to your home that way.
Wow.
So there's lots of ways to work around that.
Right, right. When you're out there, in fact, let's start kind of back up a little
Sure.
bit. Who are your primary clients? Are you dealing mostly with corporate clients, or are you dealing with just folks like me who just are going, Mack, help me out, I have no idea what's going on?
Well, now it's everybody. It started out with corporate clients because of corporate espionage, companies wanting to keep their data proprietary, and other companies wanting to acquire and take that data, their intellectual property. Now it's expanded to individuals in their home because now hackers are going after individuals to their home. If you go on LinkedIn, you could find out where someone works,
Right.
and then social engineer them from home, and then by doing that, if they're social engineered at home, they're hacked at home, hackers could put malware or viruses on their smartphone. Then the employee goes back into work with their smartphone, and what do they do when the battery's low on their smartphone? They plug it into their laptop, and the malware transfers from the cell phone to the laptop to the network. Drives IT people crazy.
Right, right. Well, when doing the research, having you on the show, that term, social engineering, that was
Yes.
new to me. What does that mean?
That means when it's an old-fashioned thief move that's been done for thousands of years, where you talk to a company and pretend to be someone that you're not to acquire information. So hackers will try to connect to front desk person through the telephone, pretend to be a family member of the CEO in order to gain access.
Right.
And they do that through phone calls, and they can do that through emails by sending out fake emails to people within the corporation. And that's another very, very serious area called phishing. It's a part of social engineering, where hackers would send out emails to the accounting department stating that they are the CFO of a company and need a wire transfer for thousands of dollars to be sent to somewhere. And since they're used to it, they actually do it and could be caught in that trap.
Well, one of the stories I saw on Wikipedia, and I wanted to use this one because this is like really simple.
Yes.
This happened to a CEO where the hackers
Yes.
actually impersonated the CEO and got the HR department
Absolutely.
to send over copies of all of the employees' W-2 forms.
Yes.
I mean, you would think that this is a big, huge Fortune 500 company, that they would have some safeguards in place for this very thing and wouldn't just assume, first of all, like the CEO has that kind of time that they're going to call and want anybody's W-2. I would think common sense would tell somebody, this is not the guy. But let's say you just got, you know, you don't know what the protocol is, and they actually sent out all of the copies of the W-2.
Yes.
I mean, wow.
That information is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, because once you get the W-2 information, you have the Social Security information, they take that data and they go in the dark net and they sell it to other hackers that would hack into the IRS or use it to file fake tax forms for the employees before that the employee can file themselves and acquire those refunds.
Now, what is the dark net?
Dark net is like I always think of it as like the swap meets that we have here that no one wants. Yeah, really, really bad. But think of it as a bad swap meet where all the crooks hang out and they buy and trade, sell information that they've stolen from other places, right? But to get to there or have access to there, you have to be another thief. Right. So it's hard to get in. It's not like you go to your browser, darknet.com, and bang, and there you're there. If they have a separate browser, separate user ID and password, a lot of times you can't get there unless you're being escorted by another bad guy. So it works just like
the mafia of the internet.
Absolutely.
Is that what this is all
yes,
about?
Definitely.
Wow.
Yes, and it's paid for by nefarious companies, unfortunately, and nefarious governments too. Nation states also pay for this type of information.
And not to get into politics, but I think that that's the underpinning of this whole thing with the whole Russia thing, is that when that first came out, I was a little incredulous. I thought, now, like, the Russians really had that kind of time to actually do this. But then I realized on a bigger scale, each individual person whose information is now being used, wow, maybe it has nothing to do really with politics, but with the information itself. And I think we've seen over the years, as the U.S. government has tried to force Google and Facebook and Amazon, we want your customer list because that information is critical. I congratulate the companies for standing up and saying we're not going to do it, but then on the other hand, that information is out there anyway. Anybody who uses online banking, once again, I was late to online banking too because I had that fear. I thought once I start down that road, putting my information out and then putting my credit cards out there, I don't care what anybody says. We've seen with all of these, especially in the past, like maybe 5 years, these big, huge data breaches, and they say, and your numbers might be compromised. And this is the one that really just drives me nuts. Now we need you to go in and change your password, but all the information is still the same. So that boat's already sailed. You can change your password if you want to, but that boat is gone. Your information is out there. And when I go to now to buy anything, and I just had to get over myself because it was making me so paranoid, I love the autofill. There's one autofill that has a phone number of mine 2 jobs ago. I can't fix that. It's like, no, I don't work there anymore. If you're gonna jack me over, then put my new phone number in there. This is ridiculous. Why do you keep bringing up the old phone number? And then at one point I thought, well, you know what? Let them call the old job. That's not going to get them anywhere. But our information, and I get really nervous about this. When people ask me, when I first started seeing this, going to the store, and I would, get ready to pay for something, and they'd say, and can I please have your phone number, your zip code? I'm paying cash. Why do you need this information? Then I realized, oh, it's marketing, and so I stopped getting mad at the poor little clerk. He or she wasn't doing anything wrong. This is what the company is asking for. But also standing my ground. It's like, the reason why I'm paying you cash is because I don't want to hand that information over. Now I'm like, here's my credit card. Everybody has it. And I'm a reporter, and everybody's got my home phone number. There's homeless people running around here in the valley who have my home phone number. Call me. Because I just really feel like that ship has sailed. Given that, realistically, how much good does it do to change your passwords on any given level?
Absolutely. We should all change our password on all of our systems. And the problem with changing your password is that, think about how many websites you visit. There's probably, let's say, average 80 to 100 different websites, everything from your banking information to your medical health information, And to try to remember your user ID and password can be very, very daunting. Well, a lot of people use the same password, which is not a good idea, because hackers can guess it and then they have access to all your data. It's like having one key to get into any place in your home or at work. You should have a password management system within your browser. And what it does is you only have to remember one user ID and one password. And the password management system will create a password for you, encrypt it. Encrypt it means it's hidden from hackers or bad guys within your browser. So all you have to do is remember one password, one user ID, and when you go to a website like your bank, it will automatically autofill
the one that you have for your bank.
Right.
Which is separate from the one that you're using to log into this management system.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, will autofill the fields for you automatically and give you that extra layer of protection. And then later on, let's say 30, 60, 90 days, you go into a routine of saying, I need to change my password. You can go in, the system can automatically create different passwords for you.
Wow.
That could be long and length. You could have a password up to 20 characters in length. Mix upper, lowercase, and special.
So what you're saying, though, is the secret to that is you don't have to individually remember those passwords as long as you have the one password that gets you into the management system.
Yes. All you have to remember is one. The password you should create for yourself should be a passphrase, not a password. That's the other thing, too. There's so much stuff in this.
Oh, yeah,
It's a passphrase. Never create a password like the name of your dog or combining your two dog names together.
Right.
A lot of people do that because it's easy to remember. Not a good idea. You should have a passphrase, like an English sentence.
I am so host.
Yeah, it's like an English sentence, something you can remember that nobody else can remember.
I didn't even know that that was an option because all we ever hear is passwords. This is the first time I've heard the term passphrase.
Absolutely. You know the reason why, Rikki?
Why?
Because there is a database in the darknet, a database that has over 1 trillion or more different combinations of passwords.
Right.
That, like we're sitting here right now in this interview, hackers are trying to ping our routers and our server to get into our information. And they're pinging it, meaning that they're trying a password and getting kicked out, trying another one and getting kicked out. But a passphrase will make it even harder for them to get to. So if you have something that you can remember and no one else can, it could be something about your family, something you're into. I had one of my clients had an example. They said, I love the Vegas Knights, but they used that as a passphrase. And they had an exclamation point at the end of it. Now that sentence would be really hard for a hacker to try to detect for the individual versus saying Vegas Knights.
Right. That is fantastic.
Yes.
So easy.
Passphrase,
I didn't
not
even
a
know
password.
that was available.
Absolutely. Because think about the ways that you could spell the word password, right? P-A-S-S-W-R-D. Well, you could take the two S's and make them $signs. Well, that's already in the darknet database.
Has been done,
so that would be tested.
Done there, seen that, right.
Think about it. All types of passwords that are used now.
That is true. There's
tested.
nothing new under the sun when it
That's
comes to passwords. And even when they say that you should use some sort of like let's say not an algorithm, but like use your birth date, but use numbers instead of, well, like my birth month is September.
Right.
So I'm sure that other people have done the numbers for September. I'm not going to be the first person who's
That's
born
right. You
in
can probably
September.
find that for September. Right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And now the Social Security number, if I can throw that in real quick.
Please.
That's be eliminated. Did you hear about that too?
No.
Yes, federal government's studying ways to get rid of the Social Security number.
Before we get to that point, recently I saw you at another station. You were talking about, and he's got some really, really great videos, folks. You need to go on YouTube and take a look at Mack's videos. So the stuff that we're talking about here today is going to be on our website, but he also has more information on his YouTube channel as well. Talking about giving Social Security numbers to babies, to the unborn, so that they're coming in, and you were just, I thought you were very calm, but I would have been screaming as a mom going, you're going to start tracking my baby in the womb? We've got enough problems already. And so now they're coming out, but the ease with which now can start hacking your baby.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And it's such amazing fact that data protection of our children, you know, it's definitely on the rise with hackers looking for information. So in our country, when a child is born, they're issued two pieces of identifiable information, right? Birth certificate and a Social Security number.
Right.
If those documents are fraudulently created, they can use that to create loans from banks that don't do their research or due diligence, and they will give a loan for that individual victim's name. Now, because they're newborn, it could take them 16, 17, 18 years before anybody realizes that they don't own a car or house or this business.
Well, I've actually read a couple of just articles about pets who have, they've done
That's
that.
right,
Or
with
dogs
pets
who
as
have
well.
like Social Security numbers and they find out later. Or, let's face it, deadbeat moms and dads who know that that's a hustle on the system, who also use that as well.
Or foster kids.
Or foster kids too. And I kept finding, you know, as this was coming up, I was thinking when I was listening to you, thinking, what does a baby need with a Social Security number? anyway. You know, it's like I can see
right.
when they become a teenager and they're going into the workforce, yes, but that almost to me is just like, just tell the crooks, hey, this is free money for you, just come and get it.
Right. So it's the younger and the elderly, because the elderly won't check, and it's people with bad credit.
Sure.
Because people with bad credit won't check.
Right. They
And-
figure my credit's bad anyway. Who would
right.
come after me?
Who will come
Right.
after me? But then
Right.
the hackers will say, great, let's take this person with bad credit, get a secure card with $200 on it, and they'll start paying it on time. Credit score goes up. They don't check. They don't know.
You think you have bad credit? You got great credit.
Right, next
You're
year-
just not using your great credit.
Yes, yes. You get a collection letter for amount of money. Like, how did I get that? I didn't know.
Well, and it's funny because that actually happened to me. I was approached by, and you name of the bank, that they said I owed them like $3,500. I said, well, first of all, that's not possible. I don't know who you are. I've dealt with the same bank, you know, for almost all of my banking career.
Yes.
Who are you people? And why didn't you, if I owe you this money, the way it normally works is if you owe somebody money,
Right.
they send you a letter.
Yes.
And you're just calling me, and they called me at my job too.
Yes.
We are going to put you in collections and to come get you. I said, well,
yes.
first of all, I never got a piece of paper from you, whoever
That's right.
you are. So if you send me the paperwork that I owe you this money, we can have a conversation.
That's right.
But I didn't even realize that that was also a scam.
It is.
Because it was like, well, tell you what, Miss Cheese, work with us. We're going to let you off the hook. Now, because I'm in the business, I've heard of this scam, but I thought, how many people are scared into, oh, I didn't know I owe this money,
I get
and they
those
don't owe
emails
any
all the
money,
time.
and then they
Yeah.
send money for debt that they don't actually owe.
True. And sometimes they ask for a Walmart card. They say, give us a Walmart card or iTunes card to pay off this debt.
No
and people will
way.
say, okay, great, I'll go down to Walmart and I'll
No
get an iTunes card
way.
to pay it off. All part of a scam.
Wow.
Yeah, and
wow.
it's even taken one step forward. There's even Bitcoin now that they're using. So now you can't trace it. If you get law enforcement involved, you don't know who you gave the money to.
I also ran into recently, you know, see, that's a cool thing I love about being in the media, because it forces you to do your research on things,
Right.
and you find out stuff that most people don't run into until it's too late.
Right.
I wanted to buy a car, and I went online, and I went to Craigslist and all these different places,
Yeah.
and one of the common scams apparently is eBay. Now, I've got this great car, and it's the same script. I didn't know. And it's such a sob story. I lost my husband to cancer, or I have cancer, and my child was killed, and I'm broke, and I'm da-da-da-da. But I've got this car, and I'm willing to sell it for a really low price.
Right.
All you have to do is send $200, which doesn't sound like a lot of money, and eBay will hold it, and then I'll ship the car to you, and if you don't like the car, you can ship it back. Well, first red flag. Who ships their car to anybody so
right.
you can ride around in it?
That's
I
right.
mean, why don't I just keep it? But then I thought, when did eBay start shipping cars?
Exactly.
The logo on the paperwork was so close to the eBay logo that if I wasn't so careful, and if my radar hadn't been up, I might have thought, well, man, this sounds like a really good deal because the price on the car. Now, $200 doesn't sound like a lot,
Right.
but if you get hundreds of people to go for this scam, and you get multiple $200 payments that these people don't see, that adds up to some pretty big
Part
money.
of fishing. Yeah, right. Just put your pole out there and see what you can catch. Absolutely.
Okay, let's get back to the Social Security.
Yes.
What do you mean the government's going to get? We live with Social Security. I
That's
just
right.
found my Social Security card. I thought I lost it. I threw it up in the top of my closet. I don't know who I was hiding it from. Maybe the people, like, you know, the cyber crooks coming into my house. But
Well, were you born
so
here?
what?
Were you born here in
No,
Nevada?
I was actually raised here. Yeah.
Okay, let me guess. Psychically, I can tell you, maybe your first three digits of your Social Security number starts with 530.
Yes.
See, how can I guess that already? How did I know that,
How did
right?
you know that, right?
Because back in the day, those who were born in Nevada, their Social Security number started out with 530. Other states, they have different numbers.
Right.
Now it's expanded with a new three digits, but people our age are now 530. So when you call your HR department of your place you work, and they say, verify who you are, give us the last four digits of your Social Security number, right? We give that.
Oh, wow. So they already have the first three.
By
they
knowing
just
where you're
need
born.
the second two.
Right.
And now they got the last four.
Right, and then you can run programs that could ping Social Security Administration for 99 times for middle two. Social Security number, their name. Now you can go to the internet, find out where they work, what property they own in their house, and acquire. This is data that
This
people
is so
love to
scary.
have.
This is fantastic. And here, okay, until this moment, I thought glad you guys tuned in. You know, make sure you share this with your friends, because this is
Absolutely.
information we all need
Must
to know.
share.
This is common sense information that's really not being shared.
That's right.
Unless you're inside of these forums. So everybody's got my 530 because I'm a Nevadan.
Right.
They don't. They all too. So I'm thinking it's safe. Like when you call, I'll use Cox because, you know, I love Cox's employees. I'm not that happy with the company. So they'll say, so give us either your 4-digit PIN number or the last 4 of your social. So up until this day, I thought the last 4 of my social would be really safe.
Not at all. Not at all safe at all. Not safe at all.
You're
It was
killing
never
me,
meant.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it was never really meant for security,
never, right.
but we're using it. So the technology is moving towards another technology. So there's lots of different research going on into blockchain technology, or maybe using biometrics technology in a way to give us an identity that can be uniquely ours and no one else can kind of duplicate or steal.
And Nevadans know until fairly recently, our Social Security numbers were on our driver's licenses.
Yes, they were.
And we never even questioned it. When we were handing over our driver's license, we were basically handing over a big chunk of our life.
You absolutely were. Yes, especially if you have that in your wallet. You'd have your driver's license and your Social Security card in your wallet. If it was stolen, oh, you just opened up a whole can of worms of information to be stolen, given to bad guys.
Now, I tend to go to the other extreme sometimes. I go back and forth. I'll get crazy thinking I've got to protect everything. And then I become just sort of like, what the heck? It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to steal my stuff
That's
anyway.
what people think,
And
yes.
as a reporter, I'm always amazed at how easy it is for me to get information on other people. Like one of my favorite tools as a reporter is the Clark County Assessor's Office. It is amazing. You have somebody's last name or you have any bit of information on them.
Yes.
You can go on that website. It's a beautiful website, and you can find anybody pretty much, unless there are layers of protection, like a trust name or that type of thing that hides it. And even then, if you have that family member's name, you can still find out where they live.
That's right. And that information is available to anybody, right? So if you take that database, connect it to a hacker's database that has maybe stolen credit cards. You see how you can build a profile?
Yeah.
And then you connect it to DMV. If you can hack into their system, you have DMVs, hack into the military or OPM, Office of Public Management, right? Now the hackers have a database started from the county assessor's office of all this data that they can turn around and sell, create fake passports and information.
One of the things that's happening here in Southern Nevada is we're really rebounding, thank goodness, finally, from the horrible downturn that we took. But one of the things that's happening is now, from when you couldn't sell a house, you couldn't give a house away for a while there. Now we actually have such low inventory.
Right.
At first I was taking it very personally. People calling me saying, we want to know if you want to sell your house. No, I don't want to sell my house. Why are you calling me?
Right.
Well, because we actually have so little inventory, and we've got all of these, I'm not sure if these numbers are correct, so please email me with the right numbers, that we have maybe 6,000 properties or homes, but we've got like 40,000 realtors. So they're all trying to sell these houses for people like me who are sitting put going, I don't want to sell my house.
Right.
You know, and so they're like, we're trying to encourage you to get out so we can sell your house for a lot more money than you know that you're sitting on. Go find another house. No, I don't want to. But that is the other thing that's happening, is that in terms of commerce, even locally, even what we're talking about now, we've already talked about, you know, your YouTube, go on Facebook, and you know, all this information that we are giving away voluntarily.
Voluntarily, yes.
Yeah. So we can't say, when it comes to privacy, I just gave that away a long time ago. There's no such thing as privacy.
But it is.
Is there?
Yes, absolutely.
How so?
And it's what law enforcement and our legislators and governments around the world are doing. They're creating and enacting new laws. Just recently, we have the GDPR law that's been enacted regarding the EU customers.
Now, what's GDPR?
GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation.
Okay.
And it's a new law that was enacted May 25th of this year.
Here in the United States?
In the United States.
Where was the buzz on that?
Exactly. That's what we're trying
Everybody
to get
was
this
screaming about
message out.
net neutrality. Yeah, that one just got lost. And that's when it really matters.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to come back and we can still fight against that. We have to remember in November.
So it's
GDPR.
GDPR, okay.
Yes, and it affects European customers over in Europe. If you, as a U.S. business, do work with customers, employees, or suppliers from the EU, and they tell you to make me disappear, get rid of my data, you are now out of compliance if you do not do that. You could be fined up to $20 million. Up to $20 million.
Wow.
Even a small little mom and pop company has a client over in Europe, and they have their email address, personal identifiable information of a European customer. They have to get rid of it if the customer says, get rid of my data, and then show me proof that you've done it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. It's very, very big. It's going to affect us too, because that's how it usually happens. Europe, and then it comes to the U.S.
Right.
Right now, we don't have to do it with the U.S., but there's other laws and penalties and regulations that we have here at the state level, federal as well, regarding protecting private information.
Now, I consider myself a huge geek and an information junkie. About a good 3/4 of the stuff that you shared with us today, no idea that it was even out there.
That's what the hackers want.
And that's what they're going
Yes.
for. It seems to me that there's more, I don't know, on the internet, more shouting about what's gone wrong and not so much what you're doing today, getting out about what is actually already in existence
Yes.
that is doing right.
Awareness,
Yes.
cybersecurity awareness. That is my mission statement, is to get the message out, what's going on regarding your privacy. Privacy hasn't gone away, we haven't lost it, and we can protect it. These rules and penalties that are out that governments are creating can be very daunting to a business. So business, a little laptop and you're collecting 100 customers. Your mission, your job is to protect that data like it was your baby. Because if you lose it, you could be fined with penalties coming hitting you from it.
Well, a friend of mine who just opened a grooming salon bought the list from another company that was going out of business.
Excellent.
And I just had that fleeting thought, those customers, they signed up with that owner.
Yes.
They have no idea, and so this new owner was taking the time, at least I was told, to call these other customers
Absolutely.
and say, I now have your data.
Yep, that's
but
exactly right.
What scared me was, man, so all you have to do is go to somebody, and you're not, he wasn't hacking, he wasn't stealing, he just went and said, I'd like your list
Right.
of your customers.
Of your customers.
And that business owner said, here,
Yep.
go ahead and take it. I wouldn't want my information. I thought I was signing up with this individual. I didn't know it was going to be passed around like a lollipop.
Absolutely. And in that list, if any of those customers are from the EU, they have to opt in to be part of that list. If they're not, they're out of compliance. So they have to be able to say, yes, I want to be a part of that list. It's okay for this new company to have my data. You're right, because data has been passed around back and forth and sold and remarketed for marketing, which we think that's not nefarious, that's fine, but bad guys are getting that data too, and they're selling it and using it against us.
Well, even something as simple as when I first really started, because I primarily was only using the computer for work. I really did not want to be one of those people who was working on my computer at work all home and getting on at night. No, it was like, I'd just be sitting vegging on my couch watching Cox Cable. That's really any better. Little by little, it started. It crept up on me, and I'll just check this. I'll just, now, my Mac is open, and, it's like the dogs are sleeping in the We're going to go outside, and no, I got to check this, and I've got to go there, and I got to go there. But it's so pervasive. It's so much a part of my life. I've got the devices everywhere. And so other than when people come to you, how do they find you? Is it usually because there's some sort of crisis, or do people actually come like, I wanted to have you on, when I heard about you and I listened to what you were talking about, I said, this is stuff that I don't even know. People need to know. How would if I hadn't stumbled on you somewhere else, how would people know how to find you?
Well, from my website and being a local here, I try to get information out by all the people that we know here in town in Vegas. I use my television show. I do a lunch and learn event over at the Switch Innovation Center that we educate the public. I'm a part-time professor at DeVry University to teach cybersecurity and telecommunications law there. Just trying to get this information out, and it's something that we really need to know. Being a hacker and a programmer myself, when you're seeing something around the horizon that has to do with your personal freedoms and privacy, you really want to let the public know this is something that they need to be aware of. Right. Really quickly, I was driving up Fremont Street a couple days ago, and we're the Fremont Street Experience, and I'm telling you, Rikki, it was like being in a movie. The new Fremont Street Experience, everybody walking up and down the street were looking at their cell phones, Rikki. They're looking at it, they're texting on it. You can almost see everybody do it, even kids. And it looks like something out of the future.
Yes. Our
communication devices, that information we carry with us, it is amazing amount of data, and that data is worth money, and the bad guys want it.
And also I fought getting a smartphone for the longest time. I didn't want a cell phone. I didn't want to be one of what I call, what he just showed you. I didn't want to be one of those people.
Yes.
Just walking, like the
Running
Walking
into
Dead,
things.
Not even looking anywhere,
Zombies.
not paying attention.
Right.
And then I found myself becoming one of the Walking Dead. And the other one was the stuff that's on my phone, the pictures.
Yeah.
I try to be very, very careful. Let's talk a little bit about social media, because we've got some time.
Sure.
And again, I'm told you so to anybody. My experience is simply because I procrastinated and everyone was screaming at me, you don't have this and you don't have that and you don't have this app and you know that. It's like I'm scared. You know, I'm just like a little scared kid, and I just see all the dangers. I didn't see the benefits at all. But I woke up one day and I realized, my gosh, maybe I don't have a whole lot of personal stuff on my phone, because if you find my phone, truly there's no politics on my phone, there's no bad jokes, there's no bad pictures, no. But you do see a large part of my life. You see my dogs, you see my home, you see my friends, you see, you know, it's all innocent, but you can learn a lot about me. Forget all the other stuff, just from my photos.
You can, and that's what Cambridge Analytica did.
Right.
They were looking at that information, your pictures, that information to determine what category that you fit into.
Yes.
For marketing research and for nefarious information, right?
Right.
Absolutely. So you have to be very, very careful about that, especially people that say, I'm going to New York for a week.
I love that one. I love that. Just tell everybody that you're going out of town. Oh my God. And then tell them where you're going. So not only are you telling me you're leaving your house unprotected, but if you want to get me on the other end, hey, look me up at the Shefford Inn in Newfoundland or New England or whatever the case is. It's like, really, why?
Yes, why can I bring these pictures after the fact, after you come back from your vacation, then put it all out on social media that you were gone, rather than telling people I'm on my way out of the country.
I love that. And the latest one that really just tickles the heck out of me is, I call it Facebook, and if you guys, everybody raise your hand if you've run into this. I call it the Facebook harassment, where I'll go off, I'll be on social media for like a couple days and I'll be doing really, really well. And then my life just takes over and I don't have time to look at everybody's Facebook. Plus sometimes it makes me sad because I feel like everybody's having fun except for me, and they've got all these beautiful pictures. Well, of course they do, because you know that's what you do. You're not going to put the bad pictures of yourself. You put the good pictures. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to know when everybody what they ate, or you know the close-ups of the food, because then I'm hungry and I'm not there and I can't cook it. So I'll just go off Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and I just won't do anything. Then I come back and then I get this alert from Facebook. Your people miss you. Where have you been?
Exactly.
And my favorite was my reputation was going to suffer because I hadn't enacted with my followers.
Yes.
Who is this algorithm?
Yes.
How dare you tell me? But I thought people will buy into this, and then I wonder, does it psychologically set people up to give out their information? I don't want to not be part of the party. So if everybody's part of the party, if everybody's on Instagram, the latest is, for some odd reason, a lot of my friends are now going on Instagram first, and then their pictures are coming to Facebook and going and being spread. Well, I don't want to go on Facebook, on Instagram. I just want to do what I'm doing for me, but then I'll get the numbers. Well, this person and this 190, 300 and something of your friends, they're doing it through Instagram.
Right.
Oh, so I'm going to feel left out and like depressed because I'm not on Instagram. The psychological part of that too is, I think, so important when it comes to cybersecurity, where people might be making decisions almost like we're in junior high on trying to be popular as opposed to being an adult and being safe.
Yes, absolutely. Because again, it's information. They want to be able to be a part of a crowd, be a part of a group, be part of a society, or organization, or forum. So they'll put information out on Facebook. When I talk to kids, especially elementary schools, and I talk to them about being smart when taking pictures and photos, be careful of sex texting and cyberbullying and all of that having to do with taking pictures and photos. It's very, very, very important for them to take a picture of their classmates and they put it up on social media. Did you know that some of those photos can be geographic, using GPS within the photo with meta tags, so bad guys could determine where they live from the photo. So it's very important that the kids understand that, and parents as well, because now kids have apps that they're doing. I did a story on local news here about a calculator app that kids are having on their phone. And this app, if a parent were to look at the kid's phone, they'll say, okay, I don't see anything nefarious on your phone, you're great. But the kid will call up this calculator app, enter a formula, and photos and pictures and text messages that they're messaging each other, and it's hidden from the parents, all on their phone.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's like, what? Parents have no idea.
The other one I love too is tag. You know what? If I wanted anybody to know where I was, I would let them know. this whole tagging thing, so I get the notice, and you've been tagged in a photo.
Yes.
Why are you tagging me?
Yes.
I don't want to be tagged.
Yes.
So, but I realize it's to elicit a response from me.
Absolutely.
That I probably would never have responded to that photo, but now I've been tagged.
Yes.
So now I want to go see what I was tagged in.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's like, they got my attention.
Yep.
Now I'm going and logging or searching out something that I wouldn't have even known about or even cared about.
Correct, yep.
And now I've got all of this information. Now they've tracked me.
You could turn it off now.
Yeah.
Within Facebook, you can turn the tagging off,
Right.
which is a great idea.
Yes.
Because people would tag you into, maybe you don't want your friends to know that you're at a certain party.
Right.
Or in a certain event or on vacation. And they take a picture of you and tag you, and everybody know where you were at. So you can turn that off now within social media. They
I will
have
be doing that in the parking lot at the end of this interview because I am so tired of the
Yes.
tagging. It's like you
Yes.
and 90 other people. And my other question is, who are these folks, even among my friends? How much time do you guys have
Yes.
to go through this and you're tagging everybody? Stop doing it.
And the nearby, too. To let you know someone's nearby. Hey, this friend is nearby. Say hi. Really? I don't care. They're nearby.
Bottom line here is we're wrapping up today. If there's one big takeaway from this interview, and of course we're going to reiterate where you can find Mack and maybe have him come out to talk to your social group. You know, it doesn't have to be a big group of people, but if you've got, like, let's say at your HOA, you would like to talk about cybersecurity, you know, this is the man to have to come, because all the information he shared today is really, really user friendly. If I can understand it, you can too. What's the big takeaway today?
The big takeaway is your personal data is protected. Privacy is definitely protected, but we have to make sure that we are aware of it and start from our own homes.
Right.
It starts there first, then it spreads to our businesses.
Right.
If you make sure that you have strong passwords in your system, those will get best ways to protect your data.
And the one that jumps out at me, I didn't even know that this was a possibility, but I will go home today and do that too, is change it to a phrase.
Yeah, passphrase.
I thought, you know, password is all I ever heard, and so my information about computers and technology and security is really only based on my personal experience to this moment.
Right.
You know, and I don't see a lot of classes. The information you shared to me today is golden. I don't see a lot of classes, which was just like the 1, 2, 3s
Yes.
of the information that you.
That's what I'm looking to have. We're going to launch here in the next month, our online courses on cybersecurity awareness that will be offered to individuals,
Right.
homeowners, to understand what they need to utilize with their computer systems at home, for parents as well as for businesses. Train their employees from their front desk person to the forklift operator in the back. Everybody has a duty and responsibility.
Because everybody in their hand
Yeah.
is a vulnerable point.
Absolutely.
To your business, to your home. I mean, it's just that part about, you know, having a guest come in,
Yeah.
and now they can go out and stand out in front of your yard, in your front yard, and they've actually got access to everything in your house. Not that the kid next door would do it, but maybe their older brother is possible.
Imagine apartment complexes.
Yes.
All the routers that are in an apartment complex. If you don't have free HBO Wi-Fi, you could be in your apartment and try to ping all these other homeowners and jack up their bill watching Netflix without them knowing, right?
Not that I would do that, but I'm just saying. As a Netflix addict, I'm just saying that's a possibility.
Yes.
Matt, one more time,
Sure.
how can people find you?
My website is MackJacksonJr.com. That's MackJacksonJr.com. I'm also on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Netflix.
See, he's everywhere, but that's his job.
Yes,
Right.
all social media you could find. But the best part is go to my website, MackJacksonJr.com, and sign up for one of my online courses and have you come and talk to your business about cybersecurity awareness. Very important.
Yeah, and it sounds like a really highfalutin phrase, cyber security, but that's why I asked him at the start of this, so that can scare people, and they think that that's for big corporations.
True.
But pretty much the majority of the information that you shared today is something that just everybody needs to know.
Everybody
and then it
does.
applies, of course, to your business as well.
Absolutely.
But just the thought that everyone walking in with their phone in their hand is a potential weak spot
It is.
in your defenses, in
Yeah.
my defenses, in anyone's defenses.
And anyone, it's just.
Yeah, so think at the local coffee shop, enjoying that Wi-Fi with your Frappuccino and just letting everybody get into your house and do business and
That's
everything
right.
else. Well, thank you, Matt, for being my guest today. It's
Thank
been
you.
so entertaining
Absolutely,
as
Rikki.
well as informative, and
Thank you.
I can't wait to watch my own show again so I can take notes. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Live Las Vegas with Rikki Cheese. We'll see you back here. My next show is going to talk about men's fashion, and there's a big, huge fashion underground happening here in Southern Nevada. You've got to hear from these guys. Not only are they suave, but, you know, if you're the guy who's like schlepping around in a t-shirt and, you know, those baggy shorts and flip-flops and stuff, you can actually look really hip with very little effort. So we'll see you on the next edition of Live Las Vegas with Rikki Cheese.